Hi, I'm Dr. Ashley Holcomb, and today we're continuing our series on developmental trauma. Last week I did a video looking at what developmental trauma is, and this week we're going to talk about how people heal from developmental trauma. Next week I'll be looking at how you can help a partner or a child who's experienced developmental trauma. Before we get started, don't forget to click below to subscribe and to check out my other videos. If you recall, last week I talked about how there's a lot of research out there about developmental and complex trauma. This is a really good thing. It means that we know about a lot of different ways to help, from methods that we have for kids to methods for adults, individual therapy, couples therapy, group therapy, family therapy, from therapies that have lots of worksheets and homework assignments to therapies that are more talk therapy focused. You have many, many options. And there's also a lot of really good books about developmental trauma. And I've put some links to some of those books in the description for this video. I want to also give you a few thoughts in terms of what to look for in a therapist. Look for a therapist who says that they specialize in working with trauma or practice in a trauma-informed manner. When you first meet them, ask them about their training or their approach to treatment for developmental or complex trauma. Ask them about their style. There's a lot of different ways to do therapy, so find what works for you. One thing that you may not anticipate, but sometimes will happen, is that you may meet a therapist who triggers your trauma. Maybe they remind you of your perpetrator, or maybe they just don't seem to get you and the things they say feel really invalidating. That's okay. It is okay to switch therapists. I know that I'm not the right therapist for everybody, and it's okay when people want to make that switch. Get what you need. I also want to set the expectation that therapy will be long-term and it will be challenging. Don't expect to be a magically different person in a couple of months. Expect that it will take a long time. Now, I'm also going to say something that might be difficult to hear. You aren't responsible for how you got here, but you are responsible for where you go next. Therapy is going to push you to make changes in your relationships, in your emotions, and how you think about yourself, and how you think about the world, and the behaviors that you exhibit in your life. Only you can make the decision to really invest in treatment. The more that you're willing to make changes in your life, to take therapy tools and use them outside of session, to invest in yourself, that will have an impact on your healing. Are you a victim? Yes. But living out of a victim mentality will not help you move forward. You can validate the pain that you've been through, have empathy for yourself and the difficulties that you've faced, but only you can make the choice to live a life of abundance. As we wrap up for today, I want to emphasize that these videos are not a replacement for treatment. Because developmental trauma occurs interpersonally or between people, it's actually really important to meet with a therapist who's trauma-informed. It is very tempting, I think, when we've been through interpersonal trauma, to just read the books, just watch the videos, heal on our own, but we're actually challenged to really mend those interpersonal wounds when we're sitting across from another human being. So I want to encourage you to check out the links in my profile to find a therapist in your area. I'll see you next week, and remember, no matter what you've been through, you can make the decision to live a life of abundance.